Your heart just skipped a beat. You didn't feel it, but it happened. And right now, at this exact moment, something is happening inside your arteries that's one meal away from catastrophic failure. I'm Dr. Megan Foster, 24 years of cardiovascular surgery. And in that time, I've held hundreds of failing hearts in my hands, and almost every single one asked me the same question. How did this happen? I thought I was healthy. The answer I'm about to give you is the same answer they got, except you're hearing it before the damage becomes irreversible. Because by the time you feel chest pain, by the time you notice shortness of breath, 60 to 70% of the damage is already done. The window for prevention is right now, and what I'm about to show you will change how you look at food forever. Right now, something is happening in your blood that you cannot feel. If you ate breakfast this morning, if you had a snack, if you drank anything sweet, your blood is carrying out a chemical reaction that's literally caramelizing the inside of your blood vessels. That's not an exaggeration. That's actual medical science called glycation. Sugar molecules are bonding to proteins in your artery walls, creating sticky, destructive compounds that your immune system attacks, causing inflammation that never fully heals. And if you're over 50, your body can't repair this damage as fast as it's accumulating. Every sweet bite, every sugary drink, every hidden sugar is scraping your arteries raw, and the terrifying part, you won't know until it's too late. Let me explain what your doctor hasn't had time to tell you. The average cardiology appointment is 15 minutes. There's no time to explain mechanisms. It's faster to hand you a prescription and say, watch your cholesterol. But cholesterol is not the primary driver of heart attacks in most people over 50. The main villain is metabolic dysfunction, driven by decades of sugar overload. And that creates a cascade that cholesterol medication cannot fix. So let me show you exactly what's happening inside your body right now. Your arteries aren't simple pipes. They're living organs with 3 layers. The innermost layer, the endothelium, is 1 cell thick and controls everything. Blood pressure, clotting, inflammation. When it's healthy, your heart works beautifully. When it's damaged, everything falls apart. And sugar damages your endothelium more than almost anything else. Here's how. When you eat added sugar, your blood glucose spikes rapidly. Let's say you have cereal and juice for breakfast. Within 20 minutes, your blood sugar shoots from 85 to 160 or higher. Your pancreas panics and dumps insulin to bring it down. But after years of repeated spikes, your cells become resistant. They stop responding, so your pancreas produces more and more insulin. This is insulin resistance, and it's the beginning of everything that goes wrong. High insulin signals your liver to convert excess sugar into triglycerides, fat particles that stick to your artery walls. These particles penetrate your delicate endothelium, become oxidized, and your immune system attacks them. White blood cells gobble up the oxidized fat, turn into foam cells, and accumulate as plaque. But worse, every sugar spike causes glycation. Sugar molecules bind to proteins in your endothelial cells, making them stiff and dysfunctional. Your endothelium can't regulate blood pressure anymore, can't prevent clotting, can't control inflammation, can't repair itself. Damage accumulates year after year. And after 50, your repair mechanisms slow down dramatically. Damage happens faster than healing. Now, the research. A study in JAMA Internal Medicine followed 30,000 adults for 15 years. Those consuming 25% or more of calories from added sugar had nearly triple the risk of dying from heart disease compared to those under 10%. Triple, independent of weight, cholesterol, or blood pressure. Another Harvard study, following 100,000 people for 30 years, found that every additional daily serving of a sugar-sweetened beverage increased heart attack risk by 20%. The American Heart Association reviewed 50 studies and found that high sugar intake elevated triglycerides, lowered protective HDL cholesterol, increased inflammatory markers, and raised blood pressure. Every mechanism directly linked to cardiovascular death. But here's the good news. The damage is reversible if you catch it early. When people dramatically reduce sugar intake, endothelial function improves within weeks. Blood pressure drops, triglycerides plummet, inflammation decreases. Your body wants to heal. You just have to stop damaging it 3 times a day. And that starts with knowing where the hidden sugars are. So type in the comments right now, I choose to know. Because once you know what's in your food, you can never unknow it. And that knowledge becomes power. Let's start with breakfast. The single most destructive category is whole grain breakfast cereals. The box says heart healthy, has a whole grain stamp. But flip it over. Most contain 10 to 15 grams of added sugar per serving. And a serving is 3/4 of a cup. Pour normally and you're eating 2 servings. That's 20 to 30 grams before milk or fruit. The American Heart Association says men should limit added sugar to 36 grams daily, women to 25. You just consumed a full day's worth at breakfast. And breakfast sugar is uniquely dangerous. After fasting all night, your body is highly insulin sensitive. Flooding it with sugar triggers a massive insulin spike, then a crash within 2 hours. You're ravenous, tired, unable to focus. So you eat more carbs, another spike, another crash, all day long. Research on inflammation after eating shows high sugar breakfasts create inflammatory markers that persist 6 to 8 hours. Your arteries are inflamed before 9 a.m. Do this daily for years, and inflammation becomes chronic. That's the foundation of atherosclerosis. What should you eat instead? Protein and fat, eggs cooked anyway, plain Greek yogurt with fresh berries, nuts, avocado. These don't spike blood sugar. They provide sustained energy without crashes. Patients tell me that switching from cereal to eggs eliminated their afternoon energy crashes completely. One change. Breakfast. That's how powerful this is. Number 2, low-fat flavored yogurt. This frustrates me because people think they're being healthy. But when manufacturers removed fat in the 80s and 90s, they added sugar. Massive amounts. One container of low-fat yogurt has 20 to 30 grams of added sugar, more than a donut. And yogurt sugar is particularly dangerous because it's semi-liquid. It absorbs instantly. Your liver is suddenly flooded with fructose, which converts directly into triglycerides. Studies show people eating flavored yogurt daily have triglyceride levels 30% higher than those eating plain yogurt. The solution? Plain yogurt, full fat, add your own berries. Fat doesn't spike insulin. Sugar does all the damage. Number 3, 100% fruit juice. People get defensive about this. It's natural. It's from fruit. But when you drink apple juice, you're consuming the sugar from 4 to 6 apples in liquid form with 0 fiber. That's 15 to 20 grams of fructose hitting your liver in minutes. Your liver can't process that volume. It converts excess into triglycerides immediately. Studies show 1 glass of juice daily increases stroke risk by 24%. Not diabetes, stroke. Because liquid fructose creates triglycerides that make blood prone to clotting and arteries prone to rupture. The rule is simple. Eat your fruit, don't drink it. An orange is filling and safe. Orange juice is a sugar rush that stresses your liver. Number 4, protein bars and fitness products. These are in the gym aisle with words like performance and recovery. You assume they're healthy. But most contain 15 to 25 grams of sugar, more than a candy bar. When you combine high sugar with high fat, which these bars do, your body processes both simultaneously. Sugar spikes insulin. Fat enters bloodstream. High insulin signals fat storage and more triglyceride production. The perfect storm of arterial damage. And people eat these thinking they're fueling health while creating the exact dysfunction that causes heart disease. If you need a snack, eat real food. Almonds, hard-boiled eggs, cheese, not candy bars with protein added. And number 1, the quiet daily habit that drives more damage than everything else. Commercial bread and packaged staples. 2 slices of any bread contain 8 to 12 grams of added sugar. Most people eat bread multiple times daily. Toast for breakfast, sandwich for lunch, rolls at dinner, crackers as snacks. You're consuming 30 to 50 grams from bread products alone without ever noticing. It's not dramatic. It's invisible. You don't taste sweetness. But that repeated daily exposure creates chronic insulin elevation. And chronically elevated insulin is one of the strongest predictors of heart disease. High insulin promotes belly fat, raises blood pressure, causes endothelial dysfunction, and produces triglycerides, all from bread you never questioned. And it's not just bread. Pasta sauce has 12 grams per half cup, ketchup has 4 per tablespoon, barbecue sauce, salad dressing, marinades, all loaded. Sugar is in everything because it's cheap, extends shelf life, and is mildly addictive. But your arteries don't care about profit margins. So become a label detective. If added sugar is more than 2 grams per serving, question it. If sugar appears in the first 5 ingredients, put it back. Find alternatives. Bread with 0 added sugar exists. Pasta sauce with no sugar exists. Make your own salad dressing with olive oil and vinegar. These swaps cut 40 to 60 grams daily. Now let me tell you what happens when you actually commit to this. Within 1 week, insulin levels stabilize. Your pancreas gets a break. Within 2 to 3 weeks, inflammation markers drop. Your endothelium starts recovering. Blood pressure drops. Within 4 to 6 weeks, triglycerides plummet. I've seen patients go from 300 to under 150 in 6 weeks from cutting sugar alone. Within 2 to 3 months, visceral belly fat melts away without trying. And beyond 3 months, cardiovascular mortality risk drops 20 to 30%. Similar to statin benefits, but with 0 side effects. But the first few days feel rough. Headaches, irritability, fatigue, intense cravings. This is your brain adjusting. Sugar activates the same dopamine pathways as addictive drugs. When you stop, your brain protests, but it passes within a week. After 2 weeks, patients tell me they tried their old yogurt and couldn't finish it. Too sweet. That's your palate resetting. Foods that tasted bland suddenly taste good. This reset is permanent if you maintain it. Here are the mistakes people make, and I need you to understand these because they're the reason most people fail. First mistake, go into extremes. People hear sugar is bad and think they must eliminate every gram, including fruit. They become miserable and quit within a week. Don't do that. Natural sugars in whole fruit are fine. An apple has fiber, vitamins, minerals that make it completely different from added sugar. Your body processes it gradually. Eat 2 to 3 servings of fruit daily. Berries are best because they're lower in sugar and high in antioxidants. But apples, oranges, pears, all good. Just don't drink them as juice. Second mistake, replacing sugar with artificial sweeteners, thinking that solves everything. Here's the problem with that approach. While artificial sweeteners don't spike blood sugar the same way, they maintain and possibly strengthen your brain's craving for sweetness. Every time something tastes sweet, your brain releases dopamine, whether there are calories or not. This keeps you wanting sweet things. You never break the psychological addiction. Plus, emerging research suggests artificial sweeteners may alter gut bacteria in ways that affect insulin sensitivity and metabolism. We don't fully understand long-term consequences yet, so minimize them while you're retraining your palate. Once you're adapted to less sweetness overall, occasional stevia is probably fine. But don't make sweeteners a daily crutch that prevents you from actually changing your taste preferences. Third mistake, falling for marketing terms that make sugar sound healthier. This drives me crazy because food companies exploit people's desire to be healthy. They slap words like organic, natural, raw, pure on labels and charge more money. But organic cane sugar is still sugar. Your pancreas doesn't care if it's organic. Coconut sugar is still sugar. Date sugar is still sugar. Maple syrup is still sugar. Agave nectar is actually worse than table sugar because it's higher in fructose, which goes straight to your liver. Honey has some beneficial compounds like antioxidants and enzymes, but it's still sugar and affects your blood glucose and insulin. The source doesn't change the metabolic effect. Your liver processes all forms of sugar similarly. Don't let fancy marketing trick you into thinking you found a healthy loophole. Fourth mistake, thinking that following a low-carb or keto diet automatically fixes everything without paying attention to food quality. Yes, reducing refined carbohydrates helps tremendously. Yes, cutting added sugar is essential. But you can still eat terrible food on a low-carb diet. If you're consuming tons of processed meats loaded with nitrates, cheap factory farmed cheese, and vegetable oils high in omega-6 fatty acids, while avoiding vegetables because they have a few carbs, you're trading one problem for another. The goal isn't just low carb. The goal is real food. Vegetables should be the foundation. They provide fiber that feeds beneficial gut bacteria, vitamins and minerals your body needs, and phytonutrients that protect your arteries from oxidative damage. Quality protein, whether from animals or plants. Healthy fats from olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds, fatty fish like salmon. That's what your body actually needs. Fifth mistake, giving up completely after one bad day or one slip up. This is psychological, and it destroys more progress than anything else. You're going to have moments where you eat sugar. A birthday party, a holiday meal, dinner at a friend's house where refusing would be genuinely rude. That's real life. One meal of added sugar does not undo weeks of consistent healthy eating. It just doesn't. Your body is resilient. What matters is the pattern over weeks and months, not what you do occasionally. So if you have a high sugar day, don't spiral into guilt and self-punishment. Don't tell yourself, well, I already ruined it, so I might as well eat whatever I want for the rest of the week. That thought pattern is what actually ruins progress. Just acknowledge it happened, don't judge yourself, and get back on track at the very next meal. This is a lifestyle, not a temporary diet. You're playing the long game here. Now let me give you a practical 30-day implementation plan that makes this manageable instead of overwhelming, because trying to change everything at once is a recipe for failure. Day 1 through 7, focus only on beverages. This is your sole priority for the entire first week. Eliminate all drinks with added sugar. Soda, obviously. Juice, even 100% juice. Sweetened coffee drinks, those caramel macchiatos and vanilla lattes. Energy drinks, sports drinks, vitamin waters, sweet tea, all gone. What you drink instead, water, plain and simple. Black coffee if you need caffeine, unsweetened tea, hot or iced. If plain water bores you, add lemon slices, cucumber, fresh mint, or berries for natural flavor. Get a good water bottle you actually like using. Many people are chronically dehydrated and don't realize it. Proper hydration helps with energy, hunger management, and detoxification. This one change alone cuts most people's added sugar intake by 20 to 40 grams daily. And by day 5 or 6, once you're through the initial adjustment phase, you'll start feeling different. Day 8 through 14, tackle breakfast. No more cereal, pastries, muffins, bagels, flavored yogurt, or juice. What you eat instead, eggs prepared any way you like them. Scrambled, fried, hard-boiled, omelet with vegetables. Plain, full-fat Greek yogurt, topped with fresh berries and a handful of raw nuts. If you're not hungry in the morning, don't force yourself to eat. There's no rule saying you must eat within an hour of waking. Some people do better with intermittent fasting, having their first meal at 10 or 11. Listen to your body. But when you do eat, make it protein and healthy fat without added sugar. Get through week 2 successfully, and you've established a completely new morning routine that sets you up for stable energy all day. Day 15 through 21, focus on condiments and sauces because this is where massive amounts of hidden sugar lurk. Go through your pantry and refrigerator methodically. Pull out every bottle and jar, ketchup, barbecue sauce, teriyaki sauce, stir-fry sauce, salad dressing, pasta sauce, marinades. Mayonnaise sometimes has added sugar. Even mustard occasionally does. Read every single label. If it has significant added sugar, commit to replacing it. For some items like pasta sauce, no sugar-added versions exist. Rouse is a good brand, though more expensive. For others like salad dressing, making your own is incredibly simple. 3 parts olive oil to 1 part vinegar, balsamic or red wine or apple cider. Add a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, minced garlic, salt, pepper, maybe some Italian herbs. Shake it in a jar, takes 2 minutes. Tastes better than store-bought and has 0 sugar. For Asian sauces, use coconut aminos instead of soy sauce. Add fresh ginger and garlic, lime juice, a tiny bit of fish sauce for umami. You control exactly what goes in. Week 3 establishes completely new cooking and flavoring habits. Day 22 through 30 address snacks and packaged foods. This includes your bread, crackers, granola bars, protein bars, really anything that comes in a package with an ingredient list. For bread, find a brand with 1 gram or less of added sugar per slice. They exist, but you have to look. Some grocery stores make their own bread fresh with minimal ingredients, or just reduce bread consumption overall. Do you really need toast every morning and a sandwich every lunch? Try eggs for breakfast and a salad with protein for lunch instead. For snacks, most packaged options are unnecessary once you're eating proper meals with protein and fat. You won't be hungry between meals like you used to be when you were riding the blood sugar roller coaster. But if you need something, real food works better anyway. A handful of raw almonds, a hard-boiled egg you prepped on Sunday, raw vegetables like carrots, bell pepper strips, cucumber with guacamole or hummus, a piece of good quality cheese, an apple with a tablespoon of almond butter. These whole foods satisfy hunger and provide nutrition without triggering insulin spikes. By day 30, you've systematically transformed your entire way of eating without overwhelming yourself by trying to change everything at once. And during these 30 days, track 3 specific metrics weekly to prove to yourself this is working. First, your energy level at 2 p.m. on a scale of 1 to 10. Most people start at about a 4 or 5, exhausted and desperately needing another coffee just to function through the afternoon. But by week 3 or 4, you should be at a 7 or 8, genuinely alert and focused without needing any stimulants. That's your blood sugar stabilizing. Second, your waist measurement at your belly button. Measure the exact same spot at the same time of day weekly. Don't suck in, just stand normally and measure. Most people lose 1 to 3 inches in 30 days just from cutting added sugar without changing anything else about their eating or exercise. That's visceral fat melting away because insulin isn't constantly signaling fat storage. Third, if you have a blood pressure cuff at home, measure your blood pressure 3 times per week. Same time of day, sitting quietly for 5 minutes first. Write down both numbers. Most people see a 5 to 15 point drop in systolic pressure within a month. That's their endothelium recovering function and arteries relaxing. These tangible measurements prove this is working. Your body is actually healing. This isn't just theory. You can see and feel the difference. And this measurable proof provides motivation to continue. At day 30, get blood work done if possible. Your triglycerides will likely be dramatically lower. Your HDL, the protective cholesterol, may be higher. Your fasting glucose will be more stable. Bring these results to your doctor. Most doctors will be genuinely thrilled and supportive when they see concrete measurable improvements. Some may be able to reduce your medication if you're on any. That's the goal, less medication because you're healthier, not more medication to manage worsening disease. Now let me give you practical meal ideas so you know exactly what to eat, because knowing what to avoid isn't enough. You need a clear picture of what actual meals look like. For breakfast, option 1, 3 eggs, any style with sautéed spinach, mushrooms, and tomatoes. Maybe some feta cheese crumbled on top. Side of avocado. This meal is high in protein that keeps you full, healthy fats for brain function, vegetables for fiber and nutrients. 0 added sugar. You won't be hungry until lunch. Option 2, plain full fat. Greek yogurt with half a cup of mixed berries, a quarter cup of raw walnuts or almonds, and a tablespoon of ground flaxseed. The yogurt provides protein. Berries provide antioxidants and fiber. Nuts provide healthy fats and minerals. If you absolutely need sweetness, add half a teaspoon of raw honey. That's about 2 grams of sugar versus 30 in flavored yogurt. Option 3, leftover dinner. I'm serious about this. If you made grilled chicken and roasted broccoli last night, eat that for breakfast. There's no biological rule requiring breakfast foods in the morning. Many cultures eat savory meals for breakfast. Breaking free from the cereal and pastry mindset is liberating. For lunch, option 1, large salad as the base with mixed greens, arugula, spinach, whatever you like. Top with grilled chicken breast or salmon. Add lots of colorful vegetables. Bell peppers, cucumbers, shredded carrots, cherry tomatoes, red onion. Quarter of an avocado for healthy fat. Some pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds for crunch and minerals. Homemade dressing, 3 parts olive oil to 1 part balsamic vinegar with Dijon mustard, garlic, salt, pepper. This meal is incredibly nutrient-dense, filling, and supports stable energy through the afternoon. Option 2, lettuce wrap burgers. Use large romaine or butter lettuce leaves as the wrap. Good quality grass-fed beef or turkey burger patty. Add tomato, onion, pickles, mustard, maybe some avocado. Skip ketchup or find a no sugar added version. Side of raw vegetables or a small side salad. You get the satisfaction of a burger without the 8 to 10 grams of sugar in a typical bun. Option 3, soup with protein. Make a big batch of vegetable soup on Sunday. Any combination of vegetables you enjoy with good quality broth. Add herbs and spices for flavor, but no cream and no sugar. Pair it with grilled chicken, fish, or even a can of sardines if you can handle them. Sardines are nutritional powerhouses. The soup is hydrating and filling. Protein keeps you satisfied through the afternoon. For dinner, option 1, grilled or baked salmon with a side of roasted Brussels sprouts and cauliflower. Toss the vegetables in olive oil, salt, and pepper. Roast at 400 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes until browned and caramelized. Salmon provides omega-3 fatty acids that are powerfully anti-inflammatory and protective for your cardiovascular system. Cruciferous vegetables provide fiber and compounds that support liver detoxification. Simple to prepare, delicious, 0 added sugar. Option 2, stir fry loaded with vegetables. Use coconut oil or avocado oil because they handle high heat. Broccoli, snap peas, bell peppers, carrots, bok choy, whatever you like. Add thinly sliced chicken, shrimp, or tofu for protein. Lots of fresh garlic and ginger. For sauce, use coconut aminos, which taste similar to soy sauce, but are naturally slightly sweet without added sugar. Squeeze of lime juice. Fresh cilantro or basil. Serve over cauliflower rice to keep it low carb or regular rice if you're comfortable with some starch. The key is making your own sauce so nothing hidden goes in. Option 3, slow cooker meal for busy people. Sunday afternoon, throw a pork shoulder or beef chuck roast in the slow cooker with onions, garlic, some bone broth, and your choice of spices. Set it on low and forget about it. 8 hours later, incredibly tender meat. Serve with roasted root vegetables like carrots, parsnips, turnips, sweet potatoes, or make a big pot of vegetable soup to go with it. These one-pot meals provide leftovers for days. They're economical and require minimal active cooking time. For snacks, keep it simple and real. A small handful of raw almonds, about 15 to 20 almonds, provides protein, healthy fats, vitamin E, and magnesium without spiking blood sugar. Hard-boiled eggs, make a dozen on Sunday and keep them in your refrigerator. Grab 1 or 2 when hungry. Raw vegetables like baby carrots, celery sticks, cucumber slices, bell pepper strips with guacamole or hummus for dipping. A couple ounces of good quality cheese with some olives. These are real whole foods that actually satisfy hunger instead of triggering cravings for more. Now let's talk about grocery shopping strategy because walking into a store without a plan is how you end up buying the same problematic foods you always buy. Here's your foundation shopping list. For proteins, buy eggs in large quantities, chicken breasts and thighs, ground beef or turkey, preferably grass-fed if budget allows, but conventional is fine. Salmon, fresh or frozen, or even canned. Canned sardines, if you can tolerate them, they're incredibly nutritious. Plain full-fat Greek yogurt. Quality cheese if you eat dairy. For vegetables, and this should be half your cart, buy spinach, kale, mixed greens. Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower. Bell peppers in multiple colors. Onions and garlic, mushrooms, zucchini, asparagus, green beans. Whatever is in season because it's cheaper and tastes better. For fruits, berries are your best choice. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. They're lower in sugar than most fruits and packed with antioxidants. Apples and pears are good. Citrus fruits. And avocados, which are technically fruit and you should buy several. For healthy fats, get good quality olive oil for low temperature cooking and dressings. Coconut oil or avocado oil for high heat cooking. Real butter, not margarine. Raw nuts, almonds, walnuts, pecans, macadamias, seeds like pumpkin, sunflower, chia, flaxseed. For pantry staples, canned tomatoes with no added sugar for making quick sauce. Coconut aminos for Asian flavored dishes, Dijon mustard, balsamic vinegar, apple cider vinegar, spices and dried herbs, canned fish like tuna, salmon, sardines, things to completely avoid in the grocery store. The entire soda aisle, walk past it. The juice aisle, you don't need anything there. The cereal aisle, except maybe plain oatmeal. The bread aisle, except for finding one brand with minimal sugar. The snack aisle, don't even walk down it. The cookie and candy aisles. The frozen dessert section. These aisles contain nothing your body needs. They exist to sell you convenient processed foods that damage your health. You don't need to test your willpower by browsing them. Just skip them entirely. Shop the perimeter of the store where real food lives. Produce section, meat and seafood counter, dairy section. The center aisles are mostly packaged processed items. You'll need a few things from there like oils and spices, but get what's on your list and move on. And critically important, never ever shop when you're hungry. Eat a meal before you go. When you're hungry, everything looks appealing and your judgment is completely impaired. Your brain will justify buying things you don't need. Shop on a full stomach with a clear written list. Now, let me address eating out because this is where many people struggle. Restaurants load their food with sugar because sugar enhances flavor cheaply and keeps customers coming back. So when you order, you need to be specific and strategic. Ask for all dressings and sauces on the side so you control how much goes on your food. Order grilled or roasted proteins prepared without sauce. If something comes with sauce, ask what's in it. Most servers will tell you or check with the kitchen. Avoid anything described as glazed, honey roasted, teriyaki, sweet and sour, barbecue, or caramelized. All those terms mean sugar. Order simple preparations. Grilled steak with steamed vegetables, baked fish with a side salad, grilled chicken breast without sauce. These options are available at virtually every restaurant. At chain restaurants, many now have nutrition information online. Look it up before you go so you know what to order. At fast food places, which sometimes are your only option when traveling, make the best choices possible. Burger without the bun, wrapped in lettuce if they'll do it. Side salad instead of fries. Water instead of soda. Grilled chicken salad with oil and vinegar instead of creamy dressing. It's not ideal, but it's manageable. Skip the bread basket if it tempts you. Ask your server not to bring it to the table. Order sparkling water with lemon instead of soda or sweet tea. These small strategic choices let you eat out without derailing your progress. What about social situations and family gatherings? This is genuinely tricky because you don't want to offend hosts or draw attention to yourself. My suggestion is to eat a small meal before you go so you're not starving when you arrive. Then at the event, take small portions of everything to be polite. Eat the proteins and vegetables heartily, and take tiny tastes of anything clearly loaded with sugar. If dessert is served, you have options. Say you're too full, which might be true, or take a small piece, eat a few bites, and leave the rest. Most people are focused on their own food and conversation. They're not monitoring your plate. Nobody actually cares what you eat unless you make it a big deal. For work lunches and business dinners, be strategic about restaurant choice if you have input. Steakhouses are usually safe. Mediterranean restaurants. Any place with grilled proteins and vegetable options. If someone else chooses, look at the menu online beforehand and plan your order. At business dinners, order your food confidently without apology or explanation. Steak and vegetables, grilled fish and salad. Nobody cares. They're focused on the meeting or conversation, not analyzing your meal choices. Skip the bread basket. Ask for sauces on the side. It's simple and unremarkable. What about traveling? Pack snacks like raw nuts and beef jerky. At airports, choose salads or grilled options over pizza and sandwiches. In hotels, buy groceries at a local store if there's a fridge in your room. Plain yogurt, hard-boiled eggs, pre-cut vegetables. You can manage even on the road with planning. What about family? Kids don't need added sugar. If they're young, start them on real food now. If they're older and used to sugar, transition gradually starting with breakfast. Replace sugary cereal with eggs and berries. They adapt faster than you think. If your partner isn't on board, focus on your own choices. Lead by example. When they see your results, they often become interested. Let me tell you about Robert because his story encapsulates everything I'm trying to convey. He came to me at 58 years old after a small heart attack, what we call a warning event. Not massive, but serious enough to terrify him and his family. His cholesterol was moderately elevated at 230, not catastrophic. Blood pressure was 140/90, slightly high but not emergency level. But his triglycerides were over 400, which is dangerously elevated. His fasting blood sugar was 112, officially pre-diabetic range. He was on the fast track to type 2 diabetes and major cardiovascular problems within a few years if nothing changed. I sat down with him and explained everything I've explained to you today. The mechanisms, the role of sugar specifically, the hidden sources, the cascade of metabolic dysfunction. He was skeptical at first. He said, "But doctor, I don't eat that much sugar. I avoid desserts mostly. I eat pretty healthy." So I asked him to track every single thing he ate and drank for 3 full days. Write it all down. Every meal, every snack, every beverage. Then bring me the list. He came back 3 days later looking shocked. He'd gone through his pantry reading labels as part of the exercise. He told me I had no idea. I was consuming over 70 grams of added sugar every single day, and none of it was from obvious desserts or candy. His breakfast was whole grain cereal with low-fat milk and a glass of orange juice. That alone was 40 grams. Mid-morning snack was a low-fat yogurt, 15 more grams. Lunch was a turkey sandwich on whole wheat bread with mayo and mustard. The bread had 12 grams combined. The mayo had 2. Afternoon snack was a protein bar he bought at the gym. 20 grams. Dinner was grilled chicken with pasta and marinara sauce. The sauce had 11 grams. Plus, he'd have a couple slices of bread with dinner. More sugar. He was stunned. All the foods he thought were healthy choices were loaded with added sugar he never tasted because it wasn't sweet enough to register. I gave him the same guidance I'm giving you. Cut the added sugar dramatically. Eat real whole foods. He committed completely. He replaced his cereal with 3 scrambled eggs and berries. The yogurt became a handful of almonds. The sandwich became a salad with grilled chicken and homemade olive oil dressing. The protein bar became a hard-boiled egg and some vegetables. The pasta sauce became homemade from plain canned tomatoes, garlic, and herbs. The bread mostly disappeared. Within 1 month, he came back for follow-up and the change was visible. He'd lost 12 pounds without trying to lose weight, just by changing what he ate. His energy was better than it had been in a decade. The afternoon crashes were gone. He was sleeping better. His wife said he seemed like a different person, more patient and less irritable. We drew labs at 3 months. His triglycerides had dropped from 412 to 118. That's a 70% reduction in 3 months just from diet. His fasting blood sugar went from 112 to 91, completely normal. His blood pressure dropped to 124/82, nearly normal. We were able to reduce his blood pressure medication. His HDL cholesterol, the protective kind, went up from 38 to 54. His inflammation markers, C-reactive protein, dropped from 4.2 to under 1. Every single marker improved dramatically. At 6 months, we did repeat cardiac imaging. The small amount of plaque he had in his coronary arteries was stable, showing no progression. Before the diet change, it had been growing steadily. Now, it was static, and we were able to take him off blood pressure medication entirely. His blood pressure stayed normal with diet alone. By 1 year, he'd lost 35 pounds total, was off all medication except a baby aspirin, and his blood work looked like someone 20 years younger. But here's what he told me that really stayed with me. He said, "Dr. Foster, I feel like I got my life back. I didn't realize how bad I felt until I started feeling good again. The constant fatigue, the brain fog, the mood swings, the afternoon crashes. I thought that was just what aging felt like. Turns out it was the food. And now at 59, I genuinely feel better than I did at 49. I have more energy, better mood, clearer thinking, and I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not lying awake at night worrying about another heart attack. That's the power of this approach. That's what I want for you. You have that exact same power available to you right now. The ability to feel better than you've felt in years. More energy, better mood, sharper thinking, and most critically, a healthier heart that will carry you through decades more of life. But you have to choose it. You have to decide this matters enough to change your daily habits. Nobody can do that for you. Not me, not your doctor, not your family. Only you can make that decision. And the time to decide is right now. Not tomorrow morning, not next Monday, not after the holidays or after this stressful period at work or when life calms down. Those excuses will always be there. Life is always busy. There's always a reason to wait. But your arteries are not waiting. The damage is accumulating right now today with every meal because every meal is a choice toward disease or toward health. Small choices repeated over time create massive results. 1 good meal doesn't make you healthy, but 3 good meals daily for a month transforms everything. So make the choice. Decide your health matters more than convenience, more than habit, more than momentary pleasure. You're worth the effort. Your life has value. The people who love you want you around. You have things you still want to do, and all of that requires a healthy heart. Here's what terrifies me. I've stood in operating rooms over people who never saw it coming. Responsible people who thought they were doing everything right. But nobody told them the real problem was hidden sugars destroying their arteries meal after meal for decades. By the time symptoms showed, damage was severe. You don't want to be that person. And you don't have to be, because you're hearing this now while you still have time. At 50, 60, even 70, your body can heal when you give it what it needs. Your arteries are responsive. Your metabolism can rebalance. But you have to decide right now that this matters enough to change the pattern. Think about what you want to do in the next 20 or 30 years. Travel, play with grandkids, hike, garden. All of that requires a strong heart. The choices you make today determine whether your arteries carry you through those years with strength or fail when you need them most. This isn't about vanity. It's about staying alive and independent, not becoming the person whose family worries every time you complain of chest pain, not spending retirement managing disease. That's what's at stake. Your heart beats 100,000 times daily, 2.5 billion times over an average lifetime. Never stops, never rests, never complains, just works, pumping blood, delivering oxygen, keeping you alive. All it asks is that you don't poison it slowly with inflammatory foods. Take care of your heart, and your heart takes care of you. That's the deal. Honor it. Starting now, starting with your next meal. Because that choice is the beginning of a trajectory toward disease or vitality. You get to choose which defines your future. Choose wisely. Choose with full understanding of what's at stake. And choose knowing you have complete power to protect your heart and your life. If you want ongoing support and more detailed strategies, subscribe to this channel. I post weekly videos on heart health and nutrition with no gimmicks, just evidence-based medicine. Because you deserve doctors who educate, not just prescribe. You deserve to understand your body. And you deserve a long, healthy life with a strong heart. I'll see you in the next video. Stay strong. Your heart is counting on you.